Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood Birdman here. Um, I don't know what type of video this will be. Um, I'll probably have figured all that out by the time you see the thumbnail and the title. But I woke up and I got on Twitter and then I saw a video from Jonathan Majors, and I kind of just wanted to talk about that. But also, I've been getting like inundated with Birdman. Are you going to talk spoilers for Deadpool? So I'm just going to kind of squish all of this together. So bear with me. So like what is a spoiler review, right? Do I go through the whole movie again? Like I did that with No Way Home, and every time I watch that video, I'm like, get to the point, Birdman. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't think I'm just gonna like go through the whole film, just like talk about things that I thought worked very well and give you some like extra thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine, because I've seen the movie 3 times now, and yeah. So obviously the major spoilers are that there are a bunch of cameos, and that would be Blade, Elektra, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Gambit. And all of those sort of worked for me. You know, this film was like a love letter to old Fox films, except Blade, because Blade is Warner Brothers, New Line Cinema, who is now owned by Warner Brothers. And that's a very interesting thing to bring over. You know, you got the New Line Cinema / Warner Brothers character in a Marvel film. Listen, man, I said on Twitter a while ago that we're going to eventually get to the point in comic book movies where they're going to cross over DC with Marvel, and that's going to be huge. And I really believe that they're going to do that. But yeah, no, so it's just interesting to have Blade come over, and you know, the things that Blade was saying and doing in the film, I loved. It's just it feels so good to see Wesley Snipes back as the character, and it felt so good to see Blade come back. It was an itch that I didn't know that I needed scratched. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I'd put the Blade stuff behind me, and you know, after Blade 3 and the whole debacle with Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes, you know, I thought I was like, okay, let's move on, and you know, we're gonna have Ali play the new Blade, and that whenever that's gonna fucking come through. So you know, I thought I was done with it basically, and when he showed up on screen, I'm just like, yes, this works. This totally works for me. And it just a little harping more on Blade, because I love Blade. I love Blade so much. He picked up a short knife. I don't know if I really like that. You know, me and the homies, we went to go see this, and we always like have a discussion. And I kind of want to start recording our discussions because they're really good, actually. But we always have a discussion after a movie. We stand in the parking lot and just like shoot the shit. And we talked about Blade a lot. And one thing we brought up was like, why wasn't he using his katana? You know, I felt like he should have used the katana in the movie. He had like a little short sword. It's just a little thing, but it's like, where's the sword? Like, okay, I get it. Deadpool also has a sword, so you want to have him like have different visual language. You know, Elektra's using sai, little short swords. Gambit is using cards and a pole. And, you know, Deadpool has katanas. You know, X-23 has these, and then Wolverine has these. So like, I feel like, you know, you already had 2 guys that were very similar. Like, why not just like give him his katana? It's a little thing, but you know, it was a thing that bothered all of us. He had a line in the film that was like, there's only going to be one blade, and then Deadpool looks right into the camera. I don't know what that means. I feel like that's Disney going, wink, we have a Blade movie coming out, but then why would they say that? Like, he said that with like some gumption in his chest. You know what I mean? There's never gonna be one Blade. And you're like, I'd be okay with that. Like, Mahershala Ali, he's a phenomenal actor, right? But it's Wesley Snipes, and he still looks good, and he still looks in shape. He's a martial artist in real life. It's like, you could just do a Blade movie with him and we'd be totally fine with that. But yeah, like the other guys, like I thought Elektra was cool because like, you know, her movie really sucked. So this felt like closure for the character. And that's really what the film was. Like, if you think about the entire film in its totality, it's the TVA is representative of Disney, right? So what they're saying is we're going to erase your timelines, and that's the timelines from the Fox movies, right? So we're going to delete those and bring you into the MCU. Get it? And that's what I felt like was happening with Elektra's character, because obviously her movie was whack. So they, you know, brought her in and then gave her an ending, which is something they said in the film. So I feel like there were layers to this whole TVA, you know, timelines thing. It's very meta when you actually think about it from that perspective. And then they brought my boy Gambit in the mix. I love that so much, and I am so happy for Channing Tatum because he wanted to play this character for so fucking long, and you can feel the energy coming through on the screen, and that's what I love. I always tell you guys that, you know, one of my favorite things is when the actor is giving it everything and they care about the character, and they want to bring the comic book to life. You know what I mean? Like, not just get a paycheck, right? Not just go, okay, yeah, I'll do the stupid comic book movie. No. He cares about the character, and that's what matters to fans like us. They gave him a comic accurate costume. You know, I know some people are going to think it looks a little goofy, but that's what Gambit looks like. He looks fucking phenomenal. And he had the accent, and I know they made fun of the accent, and maybe a full Gambit movie with that accent might grate on some people's nerve. Maybe. I feel like, you know, Gambit has to work within a Deadpool context so that you have somebody making fun of the accent, but that's his accent. If you actually watch the old X-Men cartoons, that's how Remy speaks. And then, you know, you see the new X-Men 97, he talks just like that. That's his accent. So I really like that they showed love to that character and had an actor that wanted to bring it to life. It's very similar to Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool, somebody who campaigned for that role and who did everything in their power, maybe even leaked it, to bring the character to the screen. And I love that for him. And, you know, X-23 was spoiled in the trailer. It would have been nice if they didn't do that, you know, because like they show her in the TVA as a young girl. You know, they're using footage from Logan. And I feel like it would have been a better surprise if she showed up at that point, because like at that point it was all four of those guys coming in and giving you, you know, the audience applause moments, and she would have been a nice little cherry on top, you know what I mean? But they spoiled that in the trailer as something that I don't think that they should have done. Like, this movie had like 4 or 5 fucking trailers. It doesn't need that many, man. It's Deadpool, it's Wolverine, it sold itself. Like, all you had to do was go, hey, look, we got Hugh Jackman. Hey, look, we got Ryan Reynolds. Hugh Jackman's gonna be wearing the yellow costume. Boom. People are gonna show the fuck up. And, you know, there's one thing that's like been bothering me that I see on social media, and it's very annoying, right? It's people that go, oh, this movie is just fan service, and, you know, fan service sucks because doing things that your fans who paid money to come watch this like is a bad thing. And I've never understood the argument that fan service is a bad thing. Like, I love I love fan service. I'm talking this kind of fan service and anime fan service. Like, show me the boobs, show me the underskirt. I don't care. I love that shit. This shit is great. Like, fan service works for me. No, but in all seriousness, I never understood the argument that fan service is a bad thing, you know, and that's one of the criticisms that they gave No Way Home. But what bothers me is that they ignore everything else that happened in that movie and also this movie to say that fan service is what sells the film. And it's like, that's not even close to being true, unless your argument is that Wolverine himself is fan service, because Blade, Elektra, Gambit, and X-23, they show up in like the beginning of the 3rd act, the end of the 2nd act. Like, they're not there for the majority of the film. You understand what I'm saying? So it's saying that this movie is fan service doesn't even make sense. And also No Way Home. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up at nearly the end of the film. So where's the fan service there? Are you talking about Dr. Octopus? Are you talking about Green Goblin? You know, like, I mean, shit, Electro's not even a fan favorite, so you can't say that that was fan service. And, you know, Spider-Man 3 is not a great movie to the vast majority of people. Some people have tried to, you know, revisionist history that thing. But Sandman is not a character that people were like, oh, I need Sandman back. Like, who? Like, where's the fan service there? You obviously talking about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And again, they show up at the end of the fucking movie. So the vast majority of the film is a film. It's a movie doing its own thing on its own, right? So same thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. The vast majority of the film is Hugh and Ryan and their hijinks, and Hugh is absolutely murdering it. He is killing it, okay? Literally and figuratively. He is amazing in this film. You know, he is the heart of the film, like I said in my review. So what I'm trying to get at is, where's the fan service? Is it Hugh? Are you saying Hugh is the fan service? Because then it would kind of sort of make sense, but even then, he's doing a damn good job. So I just don't understand that as a criticism. And even if the whole film was just cameos, so fucking what? And like the biggest laugh I think that I got was the fact that Chris Evans showed up and we thought he was Captain America, right? And then he said, "Flame on." And I was like, oh my God. They really did. That was great. That was just such a fucking great moment. I love that. I kind of wish he would have stuck around a little bit longer. But you know, my first viewing, I actually was sitting next to someone who was, you know, I sit next to the most oblivious motherfuckers. I swear to God, dude. Like I told y'all that when I first saw the Avengers back in 2012, I went to a fan event, and the fan event was all the Marvel movies up to that point. So there was 6 movies, and the 6th was the Avengers at midnight. So it was a marathon, and I was there for all of them because I'm a big fucking loser geek nerd, and I love this shit, okay? And I've been there since day fucking 1. Fuck y'all. But yeah, anyway, so like I was in the theater, and then there was a guy that sat next to me watching the Avengers, and when Hulk was fighting Thor, he threw his hammer at him, and then Hulk couldn't pick it up. And then the one guy was like, is Thor that much stronger than Hulk? And he's just like, bro, you paid for this fucking event, okay? Because like the only way you could get into this event was if you paid for all the movies. So he didn't show up to the previous film with Thor, where they explained that you can't pick up the hammer unless you're worthy, right? So like a fucking clueless moron who spent all that money because that ticket was kind of expensive. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a thing, right? So in this movie, I sat next to another oblivious moron when I first went to go see it. And he's like, this guy can defeat the Human Torch? What? He said that aloud, and I'm like, fam, that's pyro. He controls fire. He could just sap your fire away from you, which is what he did. Yeah, it's just, I swear I sit next to the most ridiculous people. But you know, that was a great scene, and then it had a nice little payoff at the end credit scene. I thought that was great. I loved Chris Evans. I'm like, dude, thank you for coming back for doing this thing. And that kind of ties into Robert Downey Jr. coming back. My first gut reaction was confusion. Like, why? Why is he Dr. Doom? What's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, him? Why RDJ? He is the MCU. You know, he started it off, and he sold us on this concept. You know, Disney did a great job with casting and writing and directing and, you know, bringing everything together. But I really feel like the crux of the entire franchise is Robert Downey Jr. So this is why my initial reaction is welcome back. Welcome back. We've missed you. You know, if people are saying the MCU is at a low point, what they're saying is it's at a low point since Endgame. And guess who was in Endgame? Robert Downey Jr. So this makes sense to bring him back. If the argument is, well, you know, the MCU is down now, well, bring up the guy that had it up here. And, you know, I'm very curious to see what is actually going on here. Like, what are they doing here? Why is he Victor Von Doom, if he even is Victor Von Doom? Now, remember, we're in, you know, waist deep in the fucking multiverse saga, so he could just be Tony Stark as Doctor Doom. You know, they kind of did that with Ultron, right? Like, this universe that we've been following in the MCU, 616, I really hate calling it that, but let's just go with that. If you think about it, Tony Stark has kind of been a variant this whole time, right? Like, he's getting everybody's role. Like, he didn't create Ultron in the comics, guys. That's Ant-Man. Ant-Man created Ultron. So why is he the, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so it kind of makes sense that he's Dr. Doom. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at it from that perspective. But I think the confusion, the general, like, what the fuck is going on sort of, you know, mentality is what's going to sell that film. And I think that's why they did it, and that's why they revealed it now. Because he could have been the biggest audience reaction if we did not know he was going to be in that film. But I didn't really want to talk about that. I just giving you my quick thoughts. This whole thing brings me to the Jonathan Majors video. And there was a video on TMZ or Twitter from TMZ, and it went like this.
It was announced that Robert Downey Jr. was, you know, being brought back from Marvel to play Doctor Doom. I mean, looks like he's replacing your villain, you know, Kang. I mean, are you hurt with the new direction that, like, Marvel is, like, going?
Yeah, heartbroken.
You are?
Yeah, of course. Come on. Yeah, of course. I love him. I love Kang.
I mean, you know.
Dr. Doom is wicked, though.
Oh, yeah. It is good. It's going to be good. I mean, both Robert Downey Jr. and Ezra Miller have had, like, a history of trouble with, like, you know, the law and getting arrested for felonies. I mean, you only had a misdemeanor. Do you feel like it's unfair that, like, you're not being given the same opportunities as them?
Damn. I think it's fair that Mr. Downey is being and has been greeted with patience and curiosity and love, and that Mr. Miller's gotten the same treatment, and that they're being allowed to work their art and be creative at that level, you know. I didn't really get that. So, you know.
Do you wish you had, like, the same opportunity as them?
I mean, that's hard. I mean, come on. Yeah.
I mean, why do you think that's the case, though? Like, for them?
Like, I don't know.
Would you want your old role back? Like, your old job back as Kang the Conqueror?
Kang?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love him. That's why I said I love him. I love him. I love Kang. Love time. Love He Who Remains. Love him. If that's what the fans want, if that's what Marvel want, let's roll. Hell yeah.
Now, that video, like, really breaks my heart because, first of all, if you don't know, I love Jonathan Majors. I think he is phenomenal in everything he is in. He's one of those actors that elevates any property that he's in. From Creed 3, which I thought was just okay, but I thought he was phenomenal in it, to, you know, Quantumania, which I thought was an average film, but I loved him in that movie. And then he was incredible in Loki. He's phenomenal. I love him so much. So I hate to see him like this. I hate to see him out of the MCU. I hate to see them just say the Kang story is not, we're just gonna just walk past that, because first of all, I thought the Kang thing in the MCU was just compelling on its own. He Who Remains was a great character, and then, you know, Victor Timely. I loved Loki, and I loved Jonathan Majors in Loki. I thought he was just great in it, and I want more of him. And we had the Council of Kangs, and just like, are we just gonna forget about all that? You know, are you gonna recast the character? Like, because didn't they change the name for the Avengers film that was going to be about Kang Dynasty? They changed it to Doomsday. So what are you doing with the Kangs? Is that just like not canon anymore? Like, you just gonna say fuck Ant-Man 3? I don't know all the details from his case. What I do know is that it was a misdemeanor case. It wasn't like a felony case. The video that we saw was him, being aggressive and putting his girlfriend into a car and then running away from her for like blocks. And the people who are very politically inclined, they'll go, oh, he's a woman beater from that. Now, again, I'm not educated on the documents from the court, but from what I have read, he's not a woman beater. He's a little quirky, with the Coretta Scott King line. That was weird, but that's it. People are allowed to be weird. But what he is not, from all available evidence, is a woman beater. Women beaters don't run from the women, and like all the witnesses said that she was the aggressor, and because she was the aggressor, she got some nicks and bumps in their little struggle or whatever. Again, if you want to pillory him for that, I'm not gonna do that with you. If somebody really is a piece of shit, then fuck him. But I don't see that with Jonathan Majors. He's, by all available accounts, he's a great guy, and his talent is undeniable. So it pains me to not have that man in the MCU anymore, because he was one of those actors. He's one of those guys, one of those ones. You know what I mean? And if you're having an issue with people saying that the writing and the the MCU is at a low point, that's one of the guys that you bring in to raise the level. It pains me to see him look at Robert Downey Jr. get multiple chances, and him not be able to get a chance, and then Ezra Miller get multiple chances, and then him not be able to get a chance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that just sort of breaks my heart. And my thoughts are not completely solidified on this. Obviously, if you can show me some more evidence of him being a piece of shit, then that'll be what it is. But from what I have seen, and again, I'm just admitting that I don't have all the available information, but from what I have seen, he seems to be a great guy, and I really, really would like to have him back. This is not like a normal thing for me. I don't typically do spoiler videos, and I don't typically talk about things like this, but it sort of reminds me of the Black Panther thing, where Marvel refused to recast a character, and then they tried to blame it all on Ryan Coogler and go, oh, well, Ryan was like, yeah, we don't want to recast him. And fuck Ryan Coogler if that's his opinion, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a director. He's easily replaced. You can replace a fucking director, dude. Like, if he's going, okay, I don't want to be a part of a piece of media where we replace my friend. Well, listen, man, your friend fucking died, bro. That nobody will ever replace him in ever. But then, like, you make a movie where you call a child T'Challa 2. Like, what type of shenanigans are you gonna have to go through to get that character to be Black Panther in the future? He's a fucking baby. He's like this tall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're already in the future. Like, were you gonna say, 20 years in the future now? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? And I know the obvious answer is, we're in the multiverse. We can just snatch a T'Challa out of another timeline. Yeah, but that's convoluted, and you didn't have to do that. All you had to do was recast the character. And look, I thought I was done talking about recast the character, but now after seeing Robert Downey Jr. come in as another role and kicking out Jonathan Majors, it feels weird. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's going on here? There is no logical flow here. We got a new Captain America movie coming out, and an actor died, and you recast him. I mean, was William Hurt not a beloved human being that people cared about and loved and would not have wanted to seen recast, but you brought in Harrison Ford to recast? It's just weird. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? These are not congruent. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. This is just a bunch of random thoughts. There's no structure. I'm sorry. You know, I really wanted to say these things because I'd say these things to myself, and I feel like I should just put them on camera. So anyway, that's what I thought about all this jazz. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know this is probably going to be a controversial comment section, so have at it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.